With 2018 now in the rearview mirror, it's time to look back at some of the films in 2018 and discuss whether or not Upgrade was one of the most underrated films of 2018. So if you don't know what the movie Upgrade is about, since it was a lower budget movie and not a lot of people saw it, it is essentially a movie about a guy. His character's name is Gray, played by Logan Green Marshall, and his wife get into an accident. And after the accident, some guys end up shooting and killing his wife, but they leave him alive, but they end up shooting him in like the spine or something. So with that, of course, he's upset that his wife got killed, and of course he wants to go get these guys, but before that he honestly wants to commit suicide because he can't move, because he's paralyzed. But a billionaire man decides that he can offer some help by giving him a little robot that is called STEM, that if he puts inside Gray, he can be able to move and all that again. And of course, with that, he goes after these people and tries to kill them. That's, the most basic version of telling you what it's about. Now, I'm not going to go into spoilers or anything if you haven't seen it, but so, there's a heads up. So, this movie, for the most part, is kind of a basic revenge story. I feel like the first half of it, maybe the first 2/3 of it, something like that, it does just seem like your basic revenge story. Nothing's really different. Okay, yeah, they killed somebody that he loves. He's going to go after him. Big deal. But then, I don't think this is really a spoiler because I think it was in the trailers, but he eventually finds out that STEM can talk to him, and he also gives him advice and stuff like that, which I thought was very cool. I thought the voice of STEM was really, really cool. And also, I should point out, by underrated, I don't mean like critics, like reviews, because some people have brought that up with saying that, oh, well, it had amazing reviews. I'm not talking about underrated in that sense. I'm talking about underrated in the fact that it didn't get a lot of recognition. Okay, I just want to put that out there since I didn't already. And like I said, the first half of the movie, 2/3 of it or whatever, does just seem like your basic revenge story. Now, I do really like Logan Green Marshall in this movie, and you will hear a lot of people, talk about him being like Tom Hardy, because honestly, he does look a tiny bit like Tom Hardy, and he also kind of sounds like him a bit. I mean, not completely, but he does come off Tom Hardy-ish, so that's very weird. But yeah, some people will compare him to that, and some people say that he's really good. I agree. I think he is really good. And now, the reason I bring up whether this movie is underrated is because I know the first half of the movie for sure just seems like a basic revenge story. Nothing there, whatever. But once you get towards the end of the movie, that's when it gets really, really good. And now, at first when he allegedly assumes who's behind all of it, you could be like, okay, I could maybe see that coming. Big deal. Not a big deal. But then when it's actually revealed who's behind all of it, which, like I said, I'm not going to spoil who it is. And then if you've seen the movie and that score hits, and if you've seen the movie, you know what I'm talking about, and that score hits after it happens, you're literally just looking at the screen, just trying to process everything. Honestly, it's one of those rare endings where you're just staring at the screen, not knowing what just happened. In a good way, not not knowing what just happened because it made no sense, because it made sense. And that's why it's oh my gosh, because I've heard people say this too, is that a lot of people have said that it just left them staring at the screen. Now, like I said, I'm not going to say what actually happens at the end, but I definitely thought it was a very, very good ending, because I thought it was just going to be a basic ending. Okay, yeah, they get the alleged guy, whatever, big deal, just another common revenge story. But then when it's actually revealed who's behind it and stuff like that, it's holy balls. It's a huge reveal. And like I said, it's one of those very rare endings that you're literally just staring at the screen trying to process it. And that score that got added to it just added a way more of an effect to it. And it just made that ending so good. And that is why, in my opinion, I honestly think Upgrade was one of the most underrated films of 2018, especially because of the ending. I think the ending was huge. I mean, like I said before, the first half of it could be, okay, it's just basic revenge story. But when it gets towards the end, especially the ending of it, I thought it was very well done. Because if you follow Rotten Tomatoes, which I typically don't, this movie did get, I think, 87% certified fresh, which that is really good. You think for a movie like this, you'd be like, how in the world? But trust me, it is definitely worth it. I did like most of the characters throughout the film. I love the voice of Stem. The voice of Stem was really, really cool. And I loved some of the quotes in this movie. Some of the quotes in this movie are very, very deep. You know, some are like, why would you choose to live in a fake world I'll never understand, or something like that. And then another one is like, because the fake world is less painful than the real one, which is like, that's deep, man. That's just so deep. So personally, I mean, don't take my word for granted, because I haven't seen that many movies from 2018, because I don't go out and see a lot of movies. But this was one of the few that I did see. And honestly, I think it's a lot better than some of the blockbusters that were out there. So I definitely do think Upgrade is one of the most underrated movies of 2018, or is the most underrated movie of 2018. But of course, let me know what you think. Do you love Upgrade? Did you love the ending? And do you think it is the most underrated movie of 2018? Let me know in the comments below. And of course, as always, I'd love to see you all next time.
If all